being like, hey, I can do this, training yourself on YouTube. You know, we're all watching these videos. You can do it. Like, this is one of those videos like you can do it. You want to go over the truck first?
Seven Ways Lawn and Tree. My guy Jon Piper here today. We're going to do a shop tour, show you guys what he's working with, and we'll get started with his truck. Let's just get right into it.
Fresh. What's going on? Jon Piper, 7 Ways Lawn and Tree, solo owner operator of a small landscaping service, tree service in Western Pennsylvania. We service 42 yards a week, and we do about 2 tree removals and maybe a pruning or 2 a week. You know, you can do it by yourself. You don't need a lot, but you just got to have the right tools.
Right.
Yeah. You don't need to be like the biggest outfit. You can do a lot of stuff. Just you got to prepare yourself, and it doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to be 0 to 100 instantly. But having a good truck, reliable vehicle, having good trailers, good equipment, and having the ability to maintenance stuff yourself, which we'll get into today as we go along, and just being like, hey, I can do this, training yourself on YouTube. You know, we're all watching these videos. You can do it. Like, this is one of those videos like you can do it. You want to go over the truck first?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a Ram 3500, single rear wheel, 8-foot bed, Cummins diesel, and this was purchased this year. It's 2022. The interior is super nice. We went with a Laramie package because, you know, after working all day, you deserve to have cooled seats, chargers, outlets for everything, auxiliary switches that are built in where you're not running wires all over the cab for everything you want to accessorize. Having also 6-seater. This is clutch. Go in 6 seats and it'll save yourself some money. You know, if you're gonna buy a Laramie interior, do you really need the 12-inch screen and all that other stuff? No, you can save on that. Get the nice seats, get the comfortable interior, but don't, you know, whatever you don't need, don't get. I'm just riding in this by myself most of the time. You know, I don't need to have all these extra luxury features that some of the more expensive trucks do, but you want the cooled seats and you want the storage and you want the outlets, so get it. Like, you know, splurge on yourself. And having room in the back, you know, getting a 4-door is key, I think, so you have room for a toolbox, room for your clipboards, extra safety gear, you know, room for the dog when he wants to come with me, and an 8-foot bed. I can't stress this enough. 8-foot bed. You know, when you upgrade to an 8-foot bed, you get other options, especially with Ram. I'm sure Chevy does it too. You can get a 50-gallon fuel tank. You can get the upgraded payload capacity, and with a 3500, we're still on leaf springs, so we're not on coil springs, so it's going to ride a little rough, but it's a work truck. This thing's going to be loaded down all the time. There's no sense to have like a street queen. You know, this thing's going, it's dirty. Like, this is how it looks every day. We didn't clean it up. This is how a truck looks. Like, you're gonna get scratches, you're gonna get dents.
He got a dent today.
I got a dent today.
He got a dent today. Look, when I first got here, he was furious. My wife told me I shouldn't cuss, so I'm not going to cuss. But he was furious, and you want to tell them what happened?
Yeah, I jackknifed the trailer into the truck, tight turn going up a hill. We slid, it's really dry out, and we stopped real fast to avoid a collision with another car, and we ended up with this tiny crease. But they're bumpers, they bump, so that's what they do. It's not the end of the world. Like, we're not going to lose sleep over it. And get a good hitch though. Like, if we had a cheap hitch, maybe the hitch would have broke and would have been a whole nother accident. Like, get yourself a bulletproof or a Gen Y or, you know, Rhino hitch, something like that. That's heavy.
Team Rhino hitch, yeah, baby. Team Rhino hitch.
I didn't know about the Rhino hitch, man. I only knew about the Gen Y, so I got what I got.
Rhino hitch. That's, yeah. I'm a fan of that, but
like, getting one where you can have 2 balls. I got the 2-inch and the 2 5/16, 16,000 pound rated. Like, we're not gonna break that pulling around, you know, 1,000-pound mowers.
Or trailers, obviously. Or trailers. Look at these sick trailers.
I think the key with trailers and trucks and everything like that is if you find a dealer or find a brand you like, just go with it. These are both Lamar trailers. They're based in Texas. They make really high quality, heavy duty steel trailers. A lot of guys in the Midwest run them. I actually drove to Texas to get this dump trailer right before COVID. It was the last one within about 2,000 miles of me. It was
What size?
every penny. This is 6.5 by 12 with two 5,500-pound axles. So you can put a payload right around like 8,000 pounds. So you're looking at, you know, really, really solid numbers. It'll dump way more than that. You know how it is. We've all overloaded our stuff, and just getting something that's quality. And look at the signs you can put on the side. Just putting your sides up, like getting one with a spare tire, getting one with putting on high sides. If you can't get it from the factory with metal sides, just get yourself, you know, some basic tools, and you can throw sides on yourself. It's not hard. But getting matching trailers that run similar axles, they use similar grease, they're made by the same person, so if you have an issue, like their paint warranty is really, really good if you have a problem. You know, you're dealing with the same person, and you're a loyal customer, so they know that you're going to come back, and stuff like that. And getting a mowing trailer with sides on it. I'm an open trailer fan. This is a huge debate in the landscape world. I'm too tall. I'm 6'11". I got on logging boots today. I'm 7'1".
6'11".
Yeah.
Hey, look. Just look at me, little guy. Look at. Can you even see him up there? I don't know if you can. I call him the giant all the time. I call him the giant. It's funny.
But getting like this trailer holds 4 to 5 yards of mulch in your mowing trailer on a single axle because we have sides on it and a high gate. Like this is where I started. I didn't have the dump trailer my first couple of years. You can do a lot with just a mowing trailer. And another thing that a lot of guys don't have, a fire extinguisher. And that's not a dry cam extinguisher like a lot of guys are telling you to get. In lawn care, we want a water can. You don't want to be spraying unless you are carrying, you know, a ton of gas. Maybe you should have both, but that's a 2.5 gallon water can pressurized with foam. That's going to put out a ton of fire if you happen to have one. And you can call like any fire extinguisher supply company. They gave me the brackets, they gave me the can. It's only a couple $100, and my insurance company likes that I have it and everything like that. But like we get that, like we have a toolbox full of equipment, you know, extra supplies, just everything, caution tape, road flares, you know, signs, triangles.
I see you repping that Ballard Catch Pro.
Dude, Ballard Catch Pro, man. It's so light, it's so nice, the price is great, it's a solid product. It's no like dedicated bagger, it's no like multi 3-bag system, but for me, you know, I'm only doing 42 yards a week. This is more than enough. We bag maybe only spring and fall. We don't bag during the summer, and everything like that. Like, but having racks, having little things like magnet cups, so when you take your screws out, you got places to keep them. Just little things. Like, I watched a ton of videos of guys setting up trailers. Like, I would say Blake from B&B was a huge, like, he talked about it for hours, just going over it. And like Stan Genetic, that guy beats up trailers, and you're like, if he can, you know, not destroy it, I'm like, well, then it should be fine for me. Like, there's no reason I can't use it. And Stan was actually the one I saw get the Ballard Catch Pro, and I was like, okay, that guy just torture tested it, and like, I honestly thought he was gonna break it, and then he didn't, and I was like, well, then I shouldn't break it. There's no reason I'll break it. Don't cheap out too on your landscape tools. Like, spend the extra money, get the Razorbacks, get the made in the USA ones with the steel, with the poly handles that aren't gonna go bad when you leave them outside all winter. You know, and if you have to modify a few things, like you have 2 different size rigs, that's because this one's for getting in and out of bushes.
Now I noticed.
Handle down.
I'm sorry, but I noticed that you got stickers on everything.
Dude,
yeah, why do you have stickers on everything?
Somebody takes your stuff when you're inside Lowe's, and you can catch them when you got all your property labels on it. Everything has a property label. My mowers, the fire extinguisher, the trash cans, the rakes, everything. The chainsaws are all painted, as you'll see later on. Everything has a label. So when it's going to deter them. It's not going to stop them, but it's really going to deter them when you have your phone number and everyone knows that that's you.
Yep.
And getting yourself out there. Like, if one of my friends sees, hey, somebody's got all your shovels, well, you know, that's going to be a problem, especially when we're shelling out 40, 50, 60 bucks now for like basic, you know, landscaping equipment. It's going to add up, and it's really going to bite into your business.
And that's something I didn't even think about until I met Jon. I came here one day and I seen that he had all these stickers on everything, and he told me why he had that, and it just made sense. I got stickers to do sticker swaps, and he has stickers, like even smaller stickers than ones to do sticker swaps with or whatever, but he has them just to put on his equipment. It's also very good to have stickers on your equipment for whenever you go to your dealer and you drop stuff off for maintenance. Everyone knows what stuff is yours and what stuff isn't, and you do too whenever you come to pick your stuff up. So that's another good reason to have some stickers on.
And if you're working, like when we do jobs together, a bunch of us solo owner operators, we'll like all team in on a job. Everybody's rakes are together, everybody's wheelbarrows are mixed up by the end of the day, and we can easily separate everybody's stuff, because I know how good a care I take care of my stuff. Maybe my good friends don't take as good a care of their stuff. I don't want their janky wheelbarrow on my trailer and the wheel like falls off, the handle breaks because they didn't oil it or grease it as the day goes on.
Oh, I see this big monster.
A lot of you guys got employees. This is my employee. He never calls off. He always shows up. He doesn't need workman's comp, and it's like this replaces 2 or 3 people easily. This is a Bobcat NT85 wide track, so the tracks are wider than the standard, and boy, you can turn yourself from Joe Schmo, who just is like running out of a small setup, to tackling multi-$1,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 jobs, because you can now lift thousands of pounds in hours. No more like, oh man, we're gonna rip this bush out, it's gonna take like an hour. We can go up, grab it with the grapple, we can rip 10 or 20 bushes out in an hour, and we can regrade the whole thing, fill the holes in, and we're in and out of there. It's not this long drawn out process. You can do multiple jobs in a day, and like I said, this thing's gonna if I show up, the Bobcat's showing up. And it comes with me everywhere. Like I take it places and might not even use it, but it's on site just in case, the customer doesn't add on, and now they're like, oh man, we'd really like to have this tree cut down, and now I can say, okay, no problem. And instead of it being a big bottleneck of, oh, I gotta run home and get it, no, just take it with you. It takes, you're already going there. The trailer's gonna be empty on the way to the job anyway, so just take it with you, load it up. It's worth every penny. I had to custom order this bucket. So this is a grapple bucket. It doesn't have any sides. It's 3,000 PSI grapple, and again, everything's labeled. Like we have a property label on the bucket, just so when we go to the dealership, if Bobcat picks us up and they do service on it, which we have an agreement with them, and they take the bucket off because maybe they got to service the hydraulics or grease something, or a bearing blown out, they know that this is my bucket and not going to accidentally get mixed in with somebody else's. But just like having a piece of equipment like this totally changed my business. I went from doing maybe like $30,000-$40,000 a year to the year we got this, we doubled. Like we're just under $100,000, and we're not paying anybody but ourselves.
That's a big thing, man. That's a huge thing.
No employees, like, and if you can do it, like, and this is cheap, like people think, oh man, I gotta shell out all this cash to get a piece of equipment. You can I leased one of these for under $500 a month, and it came with the standard bucket and this 42-inch brush hog, which is on my Instagram, which is a beast. That'll cut anything up to 2.5 inches down.
What's your Instagram?
7 Ways Lawn and Tree. We're on Instagram.
We'll put a link down in the description.
Put a link down. It's pretty sweet. But like these pallet forks, I had a customer who ordered too many pallet forks for his business, and he didn't have a small machine that could get in and around his property. They have large full-size tractors and excavators and skid steers, so they didn't want to do any turf damage at their own house. And so they called me up and we made a deal. I did the whole job, which was like 3 hours, and they gave me these pallet forks instead of payment. So these are about almost $1,400 for a set of those, and now we did 3 hours of work. made equivalent to $1,400, and now we have a dedicated set of pallet forks for using moving logs that maybe are a little awkward and you want to get them out of a certain place, and maybe the bucket isn't the right attachment, and we just bring the pallet forks in and do stuff like that. The versatility is insane, and you can move them, make them smaller or larger. Like when my mower broke down one time, I just picked it up with the Bobcat, lifted the whole thing up off the ground, put it in the trailer, no problem. And as you see, we're running out of a small space. We're in a small driveway. We're in a single family house. Like, we have a tiny garage that couldn't fit a modern car. You know,
I see there's a Skag in there though.
This is a classic Western Pennsylvania house, man. Classic Western Pennsylvania house. Yeah, if you aren't running a Skag, you ain't running anything.
Yeah, so I met Jon at one of our meetups. I believe it was the first meetup. I met Jon. Immediately he caught my attention because he's 11 feet tall. I mean, look at this guy. He's enormous. He's a real specimen over here, this guy.
Giant.
Yeah, so but we immediately hit it off, and when he told me about his tree service, I was like, hey man, I got this huge tree in my backyard. It cracked in half and fell in my backyard. He came and took care of that one, and then he took care of what, like 3 more?
Yeah, we ended up doing 5 for the neighbor behind him, and ended up getting like a $5,500 job out of the neighbor behind him.
All off of networking.
Yep.
Right? All off of networking. I'll put a little bit of footage up here for you to watch.
Use all the space. Let me show you how close you almost died.
Yes, sir.
You almost died. You're still alive though. I knew it was gonna be close. I was like, how close can we put it?
Of him getting down, he's super entertaining. I told him he needs to start his own channel. If I can have a channel, this guy can definitely have a channel. Charisma out of the wazoo. You got here. Don't call his voicemail, but his voicemail is pretty spectacular. Don't call him.
We gotta keep it fun. No, I don't have a Google page. I don't have a website. I did for a tiny bit. The problem was I don't want to have 10 employees. I can't have 10 dudes showing up to my house. I don't have the money to get into a shop yet. I don't have the ability to grow. We're in the growing stages. We've only been in business for seriously in business for about 6 years. Side work when I used to work in healthcare, was in fire and EMS for a long time, and kind of got out of that because my side business was making more money than my day job.
But you're still a firefighter, right?
Yeah, I still do it. I still volunteer, but you know, I realized working for myself and not having a boss, I could make my own schedule, and I can work as hard as I want all summer, and then in the winter I can take off and do what I love, which is to ski, hunt, travel, and now, you know, I have the ability to do that. And I don't plow snow. Like, when the snow flies, if you need me, I ain't mowing, you know, I'm done. I ain't plowing with Cornell. Like, I'm going down south or I'm skiing. If it's snowing, don't call me. I'm on the slopes.
Call me. Yeah. I am plowing. I'm up for business. Yeah. Call me.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. But I had that website and I had that Google page, and I got inundated with requests. Like, so much that I had to turn them off. I had to shut them off completely. Like, so they can't even be searched anymore, because it was too much. I ended up, last year, I had just over 60 clients. Mowing 60 by yourself in a week, plus trying to take a tree or two down a week by yourself, is just too much. And I started doing bad work. And
That's not good.
Yeah, I was doing, like, 2 years ago, I wasn't doing very good work. I was getting the job done, but it wasn't what it could have been. And the referrals started to slow down because maybe I didn't rake the yard as good. Maybe I didn't leaf blow off because I was trying to rush to get to the next place. And I felt like I was always behind. And so I grew too fast. And now I had to scale down a tiny bit. And we're going to focus on maybe in a few years getting out of here and maybe doing like a community shop space with a couple other landscapers, renting out a larger building that we can share to get us all off the ground together, versus someone saying, renting out a shop right now, which in our area, a good shop with electricity and concrete floors and secure and not in a sketchy neighborhood, it's going to cost you like $1,200 a month, not including trash, plowing, maintenance fees, electrical, AC, heat. You know, all said and done, you're probably gonna be like almost $2,000. And I don't want to shell out $2,000. I just bought a new truck. I ain't shelling out $2,000.
And there's power in numbers.
Yeah.
The reason he wants to have lawn care space with other landscapers is because there's power in numbers. He's one of the people I call the four horsemen. There's me, him, John Doyle from Doyle Bros Lawn Care, and Talon Oth from Authority Lawn and Landscape, who I just did a video with. I'll put a link to that up here. But us four, we talk all the time, and one day maybe we will have a space together.
And get something nice. Pull all our money in and get like a nice space. So, like I said, single car garage. It's laid out really tight. Like, I can barely, in the winter, I can get the mower and the Bobcat in here, and they literally touch. But everything's in for the winter. It's secure. It's locked up when I'm away. I don't have to worry about something disappearing. It's the way to do it right now for me. It's not for everybody, but you know, it's cheap. It's free. I mean, I already own the house.
No
it's
doubt.
Not a big deal. But having everything organized, like, and having redundancies. We have 3 hand blowers. I'm a huge hand blower fan. I like hand blowers better than backpack blowers. I'm sweating as it is. I don't need a motor on my back killing me for blowing out grass.
His head is touching the ceiling.
Yeah. But being organized, having your rope organized. We do climb trees. I do climb trees. Having multiple saws. You know, and that's something going back to like what Steel has done with their combi system. So I run combi everything. This is the 131 combi, and we got the 94R combi. So if something breaks, like the pole saw breaks, I can just switch over to the 94 or vice versa, and I'm not out a day going to the shop and being broke down. We do have an Echo, because Echo, I'm sorry, like Echo is making moves. Echo power equipment has come so far in the last 5 years. I might be switching all of my stuff over to Echo. I started out with Lowe's Husqvarna stuff, you know, that you can just get off the shelf. I think everybody does, or Home Depot, wherever you go.
Before you know, you don't know.
But yeah, when you don't know, you don't know. But when I moved up, started getting professional saws and started getting into like professional blowers and mowers, man, the leap is insane. I went from that Honda right outside here, this little Honda 20-inch, 21-inch commercial grade push mower. Literally, we went right from there. We saved every penny, and we bought this mower straight cash.
Skag V-Ride?
V-Ride 2, and when you get the V-Ride 2, there's 2 decks. You can get the Advantage deck, or you can get the Velocity Plus. I wanted a smaller mower because I was doing a lot of fenced-in yards at that time. I thought I wanted like a 36, but my dealer actually was like, get a 48. He's like, you'll be surprised how many gates you'll be able to fit in, and you get the Velocity Plus deck, which is insane. The Velocity Plus deck,
it is a great deck.
Cuts crazy nice grass. It's super easy to maintenance. It scrapes really nice. The roller system on it is really nice. The stripes are really nice. And it's a 48-inch. I can manhandle this mower. No problem. And I'm a big dude, and I'm comfortable. It's got this beautiful pad. We got the lights on it. We'll give you a little flash.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mowing at night, that's another thing we'll get into. But like, everything on this mower was thought about before we ordered it. We ordered it with a Kawasaki. Why? Because I know how to fix a carbureted motor. I don't know how to fix a fuel injected motor. I'm gonna work on all my own stuff. As soon as the warranty's gone, it's me. It ain't anybody else. No one's coming to help me. So by getting a carbureted motor that I could work on, getting a smaller piece of equipment that would fit in my garage. Yeah, I'd love to have a 61, you know, with that brand new fuel injected 39 horse Kawasaki. That'd be awesome. Maybe one day, but that day's not today. And getting more profitable. My dealer actually talked me into getting lights. He goes, you're gonna add more yards and you're gonna run late. He goes, these are a cheap upgrade. They put them on for me. They put the switch in, and now when everybody else is trying to wrap up at like 8 o'clock as the sun's going down, maybe 8:45 right now at this time of year, I'm mowing until 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. I have several commercial accounts that we have agreements with that don't care if I mow at night. It's actually, they prefer it because they have no cars in their parking lot for me to run into. I could take up the whole space. The only one there is a security guard, They're really laid back. I let them know I'm there, and I put a headlamp on. I put my AirPods on, and I just start going. And the security guards will check in on me a couple times, make sure that I'm all right and everything. And they watch the equipment because they got nothing else to do while they're there. So I have my trailer open. I'm in this big lot, and I'm just hanging out mowing, and the temperature's way down. It's not 90 degrees, it's 70 degrees. It's manageable. Yeah, it's humid, yeah, it's buggy. You'll get over that. Be a big boy, step up to the plate, and if you wanna make that kind of money and you're willing to push those numbers, and you and your significant other have that agreement where she's okay or he's okay with you working really, really late, go for it. Like, take advantage of that. Because when I'm 60, I'm not going to want to mow at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And dudes, other landscapers are driven by. I take care of a car wash down the street. I regularly cut it because it's a car wash. People are cleaning their car. The last thing they want this time of year is some dude blowing dust all throughout the parking lot. It's a 2.5 acre lot. I mow that regularly at 10 or 11 o'clock at night this time of year.
That's
quiet. It's laid back. It's in a commercial setting. It's zoned R4. Nobody cares. I can basically do whatever I want down there. Like, that's why those guys pave at night. That's why, and I got that mindset out of a friend of mine who owns a paving company. He goes, dude, convince your commercial clients to let you mow at night. He goes, I guarantee they'll let you do it. They won't even, if you present it professionally, they won't even second guess you. They're just gonna go, oh, that's what everybody's doing.
Right.
And just say it, your guys pave at night, your housekeepers and your cleaning crew comes at night. What's the difference if your landscaper comes at night? And they all were like, that makes sense to me. And it frees up my daytime schedule to bang out more houses. So now I'm not trying to put a commercial lot on in the middle of the day and taking up an hour and a half mowing these 2.5 acre yards. And now I'm mowing that commercial property at night, and I'm getting 5 or 6 houses in this spot. And I'm just, that route density just got increased, and I can just pound them out. And when I come home, it's no big deal. It's not the end of the world.
I see you got this advanced shoot. How you like that?
Dude,
you got the short. He has the short handle, but he's 11 feet tall. Yeah. Like I said, he don't need.
I don't need the mega shoot, the mega handle. The short handle is good too. And the other reason I went with this one, because I looked at a bunch of the other shoots. This is super simple. It's probably not going to break. There's no wire. There's no foot pedal. Yeah, it's not specifically 110% designed to be on the Skag. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all. But the Ballard product is really good. The YouTube video on how to put it on is super easy. I learned how to cut and climb trees off YouTube. I grew up in Vermont, have a little bit of a logging background, a little bit of a firewood background, processing a ton of wood up there on a family property. But when it came to climbing trees, I watched a bunch of dudes do it, and I was like, how hard can it be? I literally bought the equipment. I talked to a mentor, had a couple of quick conversations with a couple of mentors. They gave me some really basic safety instructions. I have a ton of rappelling history from my fire and EMS background. And honestly, if you are willing to go through the trials and the failures of practicing and looking like a noob out there learning, if you can get over that, the embarrassment, you can do anything. You can learn to cut grass. I've never run a zero turn, ever. And I bought one, and man, those first 300, 400 cuts were terrible. Tearing up yards, turning, didn't know what height you put the deck on, didn't know how much air to put in the tires, to adjust them for my weight. It was brutal. It was ugly. But now we're in a different place, and you have to learn. And you can tell your customers, you don't need to charge right out the gate $100 a yard or 50 or 60. When you're learning and you're telling, when you hire these people on, if they know that you're new, they're going to give you a little slack. But if you come in there telling them that you're a pro and you're going to act like you're the best lawnmower ever, and you destroy their yard and they're paying you $50 to tear it up every single week, you're going to get dropped. But if you tell them, listen, I'm brand new to this, and I started out with 12, and I told all of them, this is a brand new mower, I've never done this before, and they were super cool. I patched so many yards. I can throw grass seed down so good. I carry a bucket of Ready Patch that it's not in the trailer anymore, but that used to be in the trailer every day because I knew I was going to tear yards up.
What's that over there?
Dude,
All American blade sharpener.
All American blade sharpener. Those guys, you can get the high-end blade sharpeners. I'm on 42 yards. Like, I don't need this gigantic high-end blade sharpener. You just toss this bad boy in. You tighten it down. You grab your grinder. This is a Harbor Freight grinder, guys. This is a $6 angle grinder, and like a $2 floppy sand disc, 60 grit or 30 grit, I think. And you're off and running. And you literally can't mess this up. You can't make a mistake. This will not let you. And you can get a bench vise, like a $100, $40 bench vise. That's all you need. Make sure it's bolted down. And make sure you're wearing eye protection. And I wear hearing protection all the time, because this thing will make your ears ring in a concrete garage like this. You'll have a headache after like half an hour.
That thing's pretty cool.
And there's a respirator, because remember, we are throwing off these composite discs, these abrasive grit. It gets on everything. So if you're in like a confined space like I am, I wear a respirator. I have on safety glasses, and if you do that, you can sit here for like an hour, and you can pile through, I don't know, like 50, 60 blades. You can start a side business with this. I sharpen my friends' blades. Crazy side business. You charge a couple bucks a blade, and you can make an extra $100 in a weekend, because you're going to do your own blades anyway. So why not, have somebody drop you off 50, 60 blades, and just sit there and charge a couple bucks a blade and just pound them out. And you can, be relaxed. You can have your podcast going. You can multitask. And I think that's what this shop space is about. It's about multitasking and taking advantage of all your space. But being organized, having a toolbox, having multiple workstations, like, that's where the chainsaws get worked on. Why? Because the chainsaws are disgusting. Chainsaws are the dirtiest piece of equipment that most of the landscapers are gonna have.
What's your favorite chainsaw? He told me to get the Echo. What is it? Echo C. Is it this? Echo CS 2511T, I believe is what it is.
If you're buying a saw, this is what you need to get right now. The 2511T, the CS. It's a top handle, so be careful. This is where most novices get hurt. It took me a long time to get really good with a top handle saw. But this is so light, so powerful, and for most of you, I don't think you're gonna need more than this. Keep a sharp chain, and you can just plow through wood. You can make, like today, I use this and my 131 combi with the pole saw extension with the carbon fiber extension, because I'm by myself, so I need to it's worth spending extra money getting carbon fiber, because I know I'm going to save that weight on my shoulders throughout the day and make myself more productive. These two saws made me in 4 hours like $1,000.
That's a good day.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day. Low overhead. We use maybe like 2 liters of fuel, or a half gallon, for most of us, and a little bit of bar oil. But buying light equipment, and we talked about this. If you're going to buy something, save up, buy the best one you can afford. If you can buy in cash, great. We all have to finance certain things. Like my truck, I don't have, big truck money lying around. Like, we're getting into these dump trucks, $100,000, $80,000, $120,000. I don't have that kind of money laying around. But if you can get a good deal financing, finance. But if you want to buy the nicest chainsaw, save up. Maybe, that is the first chainsaw I ever bought right there. It's $150 on Craigslist. It's a Husqvarna, and right now it's broken because it's a residential chainsaw, and we're asking it to do commercial work. Eventually these things are going to break, but I didn't know that in the beginning, but now I know, so we're not buying residential equipment anymore. We're buying commercial equipment that's going to be okay with being in the back of the truck and banged around. Less plastic, more magnesium or alloys or titaniums, steels, everything's a little more robust. When I bought this mower, I watched my girlfriend I thought was going to kill me, because I watched thousands of hours of YouTube videos over the winter. Everybody from, like I said, Blake, Brian, Stan. I mean, the Instagram photos that I went through, Matthew's out in Ohio. He's got a Skag. I watched a lot of content. Just going through and finding, okay, where's my dealer? how far do I go drive to get a Skag if I want a Skag or a Toro or whatever, X Mark, and demoing it. Like, when I found out you could demo a lawnmower, I probably drove those guys crazy. I called them all. I called Ferris, X Mark, Toro. I had demos lined up, and when I started touching them and driving around, even just the parking lot, and I felt the difference in how they rode and how easy they were to use. And like, the nicest thing about the Skag is where the controls are. Those Ferris might be the best bang for your buck, but your hands, you're knuckling into the controls all day. And I thought about that and I said, how long till I take my angle grinder and I grind that safety bar off? Because it's gonna drive me nuts. And I know I'm gonna do it. I know, like, I have no problem modifying something. Like, once you own it, it's yours. Just do whatever you want. Like, I'm a big dude, I modify almost everything I own. Like, if it doesn't fit me, I'll just make it fit. Like, we can find somebody who knows how to weld, we can find somebody who knows how to extend things, and just go an extra mile. Be comfortable and spend your money where it's gonna really make a difference. Just don't go out there and be like, I want to be cool, and your Toro dealer's 2 hours away and you're buying a Toro. Like, that's insane.
Ours isn't 2 hours away.
Yeah.
They're right up the street.
Yeah, they're right up the
Hills
street.
Rental. Go see my guy Joe. Go see my guy Mr. Jeff. Go see my boy Ernie.
Yeah.
Get right, man. I'm a Toro guy myself. I like the Skag and everything, but
Like, I'd love to own
I'm a Toro guy.
I'd love to own a Wright mower, but our Wright mower dealer with traffic is an hour and a half in one direction. It's only like 25, 30 miles, but you know, if you hit that at 9 o'clock in the morning, just pull over. Just pull over and read a book. Like, you're not going to get there, and you're going to waste your whole day probably going to get a set of blades or a bolt that broke or something like that. But I think all the mowers out there right now, they're all really good.
Yeah.
They're like, everybody's making really good products because they have to, because the competition's gone up, and you know, with competition is going to come, you know, improvement and new technology. So I say 110% for it. Like, I hope everything that comes out is like better and better and better. The next one's gonna be better than the next one. Like, I can't wait for the V-Rad 3 if they're ever gonna make one.
Right.
Like, that thing's probably gonna be crazy. It's probably gonna fly. Yeah,
No doubt. Those Ferrises
yeah.
really fly. If you had to give any advice to someone who was just starting a business or someone thinking about getting into business, what would be a piece of advice you would give them?
There's no time like the present. If you're like me and you were in a job that you liked, but you look at yourself financially and you say, where do I want to retire at? And you sit down and you start doing numbers. If you think that you're at a place where you're driven enough to start a business, start a business. Just go in. Not all of us are going to make it. Some of us are going to go bankrupt and fail. It's okay. Like, a lot of really successful people have failed, but you won't know if you can do it until you try. So if you're just gonna like him and haw over it and everything, like, you're gonna go stir crazy. You're gonna lose your mind because you're gonna watch all these dudes hustling and making money and getting it. I think, oh yeah, the guy behind us is mowing. That guy hustles, dude. That's a 2-acre lot. He does it on like a Cub Cadet, and you know, he just slams it in drive. He doesn't care. He runs over everything. That guy gets it.
Well, maybe should we end it then?
Yeah, I mean, we got one more thing to look at.
What's that?
The side hustle. Because even though I have a landscape company, I have a side hustle. Let's
All right.
take a look. So this is the next delivery that's coming to get picked up here in the next couple days. This is just under a cord, so that's a half cord, a little bit over, and that's what they want. I'm cutting the trees down anyway. I'm bringing the wood home, all the hardwood that's usable. We stack it up, let it dry, cut it, and then for not a lot of money. This is my neighbor's yard, by the way. He's real cool. I basically took it over. I did a small project for him, and he was so like enthused about how it all went. He was like, "You can just use it."
Nice.
So you know that helped. Like, we have extra compost that comes back with us and mulch that gets stacked up. So when we need something on a job, you need fill, we just have a pile of it. We can load it up with the Bobcat and the dump trailer and go. But having right now the going price for like a half quart of wood in our area, seasoned, dried, not delivered, is like $300. There, right here, no joke, we're looking at like $2,500 worth of wood. And most of these people, they pre-order, they prepay because they know they're going to burn wood. They know they're gonna use it, and I'm taking it home. So why take it to a landfill or a dump? Keep getting it. I told you, that guy gets it, man. When you can just bring it home, put in a little bit of work, split it, stack it, and you can really make some serious cash. Like, there's nothing. Our firewood business now is really coming close to almost 10% of my overall business is just firewood, which, you know, is blowing my mind. And it all started off word of mouth. You know, and they did a delivery for one of the neighbors. Then they were like, we burn wood. And they found out that, you know, I have a dump trailer and I can dump it right in their driveway and they don't have to come pick it up. We do charge a delivery fee. You know, you make an extra 50 bucks. That covers your fuel and your time. But, you know, and we're not using a big, like, Wolfridge splitter or anything. I don't know how many guys of you are into splitting wood, but this is just a county line, Tractor Supply log splitter. And yeah, we had to put a new motor on it this year because this is a residential splitter. We got the Predator from Harbor Freight we put on there. And that goes back to having a garage and a shop space. We put that on here. We didn't pay anyone to do that. We did that ourselves. I know. I like to say we because I'm like a big team guy. That just comes from the fire service. But like having piles of wood, and that's already like round 2 ready to go. Like once this is split and stacked, we're gonna move right to the next set. And wood just keeps coming home. Every week we're taking a tree down. They're not all hardwood trees. Most of this area right now, we have pine bark beetle that's really destroying stuff. We get needle fungus, and we're taking a lot of pines down. That's not really usable firewood, but it is what it is. But when we get a hardwood tree, like these are all cherries and oaks and maples, that you're looking at dollar signs. And I see other tree services. That's how I got this started. I saw another tree service who was doing this, and they were doing a really good job, and they told me what they were making. And I watched a video with a gentleman. If you want to get into like the side hustle of splitting firewood and everything, I would say check out Outdoors with the Morgans on YouTube. They're in Western Pennsylvania. That guy, Mike, he is a wealth of knowledge, and he started out same way, just like a Lowe's log splitter. And in a couple of years, he has completely transformed his business, and now all he does is firewood. And he's moving cord after cord, and he's making really solid money, and he's not working that hard. You know, we're outside, and it's beautiful, and split the wood and make some side cash. I think that's
split the wood, make some side cash, and yeah. I think that's probably going to be a wrap since my man is over here cutting this yard.
He's hustling.
He's killing it, but he's now making it.
We should spy on him and see if he runs over anything good. Like last year, he ran over a brick, and it was pretty bad. It's Pittsburgh. It's a city of bricks and, you know, trash just thrown out.
And Aquashore Stadium, not Heinz Field.
Yeah. Let's not even get into that. We don't need another video.
Well, thanks for letting me come through, John. I appreciate it.
This was solid. I loved it.
It was amazing. It was hard for me to keep you in the camera.
I know.
You're so big.
Step back. We gotta get you some mics. We gotta upgrade you, get you some mics for this thing. We gotta get you a
It's
Canon.
Coming. It's a Canon 90D.
Yeah,
that was already
90D,
suggested for me.
Yeah, we gotta save up your pennies when you make that YouTube money, and you know I love it. I love it. I'm all about it. I love it.
Well, I guess that's a wrap. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.